welcome into the salon. My name is Kelsey. How can I help you? Yeah, of course. Yes. Absolutely. I always recommend consultations, especially for new clients, so it was actually really smart to have that initiative. Yes, so what time is it? I've got about a half an hour, which is definitely enough time if you want to go ahead and get started. Or did you have a stylist you came in here after? I'm sorry, got a little bit ahead of myself. No. Okay, then yeah, I'm free. Okay, great. So, why don't you just start with telling me a little bit about your hair? Like, if you've dyed it, I assume you have. Okay, yes. So, colors, previous colors, and whether they were salon done, box color, permanent, things like that. It doesn't have to be everything, but just like the most recent things, like in the past year or so. And then tell me a little bit about where you're wanting to be, and then I'll give you my feedback. Okay, so. Okay, so not much then. You've only dyed it just this color. It was virgin beforehand. And did you get this done at a salon? You didn't. Don't fret. I know a lot of salon owners or even just stylists get onto their clients about at-home hair projects, but number one, I understand the want to, or in fact maybe need to do that. And two, long before I was ever a stylist, I did 1,000,001 experiments to my own hair, so I don't judge. So, did you use like box dye from Walmart, or maybe did you pop into Sally's? Sally's. Great. No, I always prefer that over just the crap you can get over the counter. Okay. Do you remember what color you used, or like the brand? Was it Demi? That's music to my ears, actually. Yes, a demi-permanent is just a deposit, so it's gonna lift out of your hair a lot easier than a permanent color would have. Assuming you're wanting to lift, I didn't even let you get to that part. Okay, you do. I figured. It's pretty dark right now. I can't imagine you'd really come in just to go even darker. Okay. So yeah, do you have maybe some reference photos or something like that to let me know like what your end goal is? Okay, so nothing too crazy. You're not wanting to be like Daenerys Targaryen. Comforting. I mean, nothing's impossible, but it would take a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of clients aren't really ready to hear that, or, they don't have the means to get that done, and then it can be very disappointing for them. So I'm glad that that's a very attainable idea for you. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, if you like that and then you decide you do want to go lighter, brighter in the future, it's definitely possible, especially because, like I said, you use that demi-permanent. It's going to make things a lot easier. Yeah, so what is your virgin hair color? Like medium brown. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. I get it. You can pull up a picture if you want to, but I get what you're saying. Okay. So, yes, I definitely think that's possible. Did you have any other, like, concerns or questions, or were you just here to confirm that and then maybe book an appointment? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. For sure. Okay. Of course. course, as a hairstylist, we have a ton of knowledge, little tips and tricks that can help. Your hair is quite nice, I think, but if you're on that journey to kind of grow it out, there's a few things that you can try to incorporate, or maybe just some kind of everyday things that you aren't doing already, you haven't thought about. Okay, yes. Just based off what I have sitting here in front of me, my probably number one suggestion, if you feel like you're dealing with a lot of breakage, is to get, and this is a wet brush. It's kind of wore off from use, but this is the actual wet brush brand, but there are a host of dupes that you can get at places like Ross or Marshalls or TJ Maxx. But basically they just have these super flexible bristles, which is great for tangles. You don't pull and rip as much and get that kind of traction mechanical damage, which, even though people don't really think about it a lot, is where a lot of our damage comes from. If you're not someone who dyes their hair a lot or curls their hair a lot, but you're still getting damage, it could be from your brush or just brushing too aggressively. Definitely. So wet brushes themselves are not very expensive, but like I said, there's a lot of dupes out there if you want to go looking in that direction. Just something that's very malleable and pliable. And even though it is a wet brush and you can use it on wet hair, I always suggest that you brush dry hair. Your hair is at its most fragile when it is wet. So if you feel like you're getting a lot of breakage during brushing, maybe wait for your hair to dry. Yeah. Another easy thing for that area is leave-ins. Do you currently use any? No. That's a super easy and relatively inexpensive way to help your hair a lot. You can get them in this kind of liquidy spray form. This is one we use a lot in the salon. It's the Pureology brand. It's a little pricey, but there are so many drugstore alternatives that are the same concept in the spray. This one is the Color Fanatic multitasking leave-in spray, and it claims to do like 21 different things, like preserve hair color, detangle, smooth, frizz. It's a little bit of a heat protectant. It can help kind of seal split ends. The appearance of split ends is not actually going to heal your split end. That's not possible, unfortunately. Add shine, things like that. Pretty much anything you can get from Walmart or CVS or Target, there's gonna be something out there that like has these same kind of claims and is in similar packaging. You'll be able to tell. They all do roughly the same thing. I really do like this one. It smells great, but the price point is a little steep, so maybe search out those other ones if you're not comfortable with the price on this one. And then another leave-in, depending on how much moisture your hair needs. I don't know, are you naturally very dry? Yeah, okay. This is a leave-in conditioner pudding. This one is from the Heritage brand. You can get this at Walmart for sure, maybe other places, but definitely Walmart. And this one is a bit denser. It's a, put out a little bit on my hand so you can see. Well, maybe I will. Being a bit stubborn. Okay, whatever. It's more of a pudding texture. It's thicker. You would put maybe a dime size to nickel size amount in your palm. Rub it between your hands and then just work it through your wet hair after a shower, focusing mainly on your ends, but you do want to get a little bit everywhere. Maybe not directly on your root, because it can weigh your hair down and give you a little bit of a greasy appearance, but you know, throughout, mid-lengths and ends is best. Yeah, super affordable. I think this one was maybe around 10. Yeah, and there's, again, tons of options. If you search through the hair care aisles at whatever store you frequent, you'll definitely find something like this, if not this exact thing. I do like this one quite a bit. Yeah, so those couple things can kind of help minimize breakage. Of course, if you feel like you're experiencing breakage, you probably should also get a trim. Yeah, clients hate to hear that, but it really is true. If you've got a lot of fragile hair, it's just going to keep snapping off, or if it's been a while and you have a lot of split ends, they're just going to travel up your hair shaft and make your hair shorter and shorter. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the growth process, you just tell your stylist, me, or whoever you decide to go with, that you just want a trim or even a dusting. Very, very minimal amount. Be specific, and be firm. You know, tell them, like, I'm trying to grow my hair out. I don't want a haircut. I just want to get rid of those dead ends. Yes. That is, besides maybe like a hair oil, those can be really helpful too once your hair is dry after styling. Or you can even use an oil before you get into the shower, in the scalp, and through your mid-lengths and ends. It can kind of help when you're shampooing to protect those fragile ends if you kind of already have that oil sitting on there, because you focus your shampoo at the root, but it does wash down the ends of your hair, obviously. So a pre-shampoo oil treatment can work wonders as well. Yes. Yeah, that was actually going to be my next suggestion. If you feel like, aside from actual breakage, that your hair just doesn't grow very fast, that can be super frustrating, and unfortunately, a lot of it does come down to genetics. But there can also be hormonal imbalances or vitamin deficiencies, those kind of things you could look into as well. But if you feel like you're hormonally fine and you're getting all your vitamins and you're still just not seeing that growth that you want, a hair oil dedicated to stimulating hair growth is a good option as well. I keep this one over here from The Ordinary. This is their multi-peptide serum for hair density, a concentrated serum for hair that looks thicker, denser, fuller, and healthier. I actually used this for quite some time myself. A year or two ago, I just felt like my hair was really thinning out a lot. I think maybe a COVID side effect. I've heard that that's pretty common. So I used this for a while. It comes in a bottle. It looks like this. It has a little dropper inside. So you just squeeze some. It's a clear, really like a lightly tinted liquid. It says, apply a few drops or as needed once daily, ideally at bedtime to a clean, dry scalp. Massage thoroughly. So if you're wanting the whole head to grow, I would just do a couple little drops all over, massage with your fingertips, or if you have a scalp massager, that can work too. Yes, I don't wash my hair every day, so I wouldn't use this daily unless you do, because you can get a bit of buildup after a couple days of use. It will make your hair look quite dirty. But if you feel like you really need the effects of this, maybe do wash your hair every day for a while so that you can use it daily. It's of course up to your discretion, but I do quite like this one, and it's not very expensive, in the $20 range. But I got this at Ulta, but if you don't frequent Ulta or don't have access to one super close to you, you can also get this one from the drugstore. Again, Walmart, CVS, Target, those kind of places. This is rosemary mint scalp and hair strengthening oil infused with biotin, and this encourages growth. Again, let's see what it says. Section hair into 4 parts, exposing scalp. Apply a small amount of oil to scalp, massage oil with fingers, and comb through to the ends of the hair. Leave in and style as desired. That's for a scalp treatment. For daily use, apply a small amount to the scalp and comb through to the ends. And this also says it can help the appearance of split ends as well. So you could put a little bit in your palm and just kind of run it over the ends of your hair if you feel like your hair still looks a little frazzled even after your haircut, or if you're kind of waiting in between haircuts. Yeah. Again, it's different for everyone, but for growth, I would say 8 to 12 weeks for your haircut. Most people, you know, if they're getting lightener, I tend to recommend they come back between, if it's on the scalp, between 4 to 6 weeks, because you don't want a lot of regrowth. But for what you showed me, I would suggest 8 to 10 to 12 weeks at the most. So I would suggest you get those little dustings every time you come back in for that color touch-up. Not only because lightener is damaging, but just because, as I said, if your hair is kind of fragile for a while, you're gonna need to just go ahead and get those quite dry ends off, or they're just gonna keep breaking. Yeah, I did say that. So yeah, that's another thing you could try. I don't tend to wash my hair every day. I don't, just because for styling, like once you style it, I don't want to have to do that every day because it's not great for your hair. So if you do want to give that a try so that you're not mechanically or heat damaging your hair as often, you can try picking up a dry shampoo. Have you ever used one? No. Okay. So in the name, dry shampoo, it comes mostly in an aerosol form like this. There are some that are just powders that work as well. And I have actually even seen some lately that are like foams. But most of them are like this in an aerialized container. This is the Amika Perk Up Plus Extended Clean Dry Shampoo. But like for all of the other items, there are tons of drugstore alternatives. This is not a professional brand, but it is a little pricier than some of the other ones. So Batiste is a very, very commonly used one, and they actually have colored ones, so that can help too, because some can kind of leave a white cast, especially if you get very heavy-handed with it. Yeah, so you just hold it about 6 inches away and spray right at the root. And then I think a mistake a lot of people make, number 1 is putting too much. But number 2 is immediately kind of zhuzhing their hair or brushing it. I like to let it set 5-10 minutes and then go in and do that. I feel like it works better that way. And yeah, and another tip is I like to do just a small amount on my freshly dried hair, like the wash day. It seems a little counterintuitive to spray something into clean hair, but I think getting in there before the oil even starts is more beneficial than trying to soak it up afterwards. That's just me though. Not everyone does that, and you can try it out and see what works best for you, obviously. Yeah. Okay, so how often do you heat style your hair? Right. And do you always use like a straightener or a curling iron? A little bit of both. Yeah, the best thing that you're gonna do if you do tend to like to heat style your hair, I would obviously say don't as often. That's going to be the best thing. But if you feel like you have to, definitely use a heat protectant. Like I said, this leave-in has heat protectant, and a lot of other leave-ins do as well. So you could look for one that specifically has heat protectant, or you could purchase a heat protectant separately and use both. But for sure, if you're heat styling your hair, heat protectant, always. Yes. And I would say 2 for heat tools. I have a couple of mine sitting here. If you're using a curling iron, I don't think the brand matters so much. Some of the metals that are used can be a little bit better for your hair, but I think it's kind of negligible amount. This is a Hot Tools one. We use these a lot in salons, and you can get them some drugstores, but Sally's for sure. But the most important thing I was going to say is you want to look for tools that have adjustability in the heat department, because this thing goes all the way up to 450, and a lot of hot tools do. So you want to have some control over that. You don't want one you just switch on and then you have no idea what the temperature is, because at that point it tends to be quite high. Yeah, I would say no more than 350 unless you have particularly stubborn hair. Yeah, the 450 is insane. Like, you're not a turkey in the oven, especially uncompromised hair, or your hair's not even that compromised, but just some people's hair just tends to be more damaged, or not damaged, but dry. Excuse me, I misspoke. Some people's hair is just more dry and prone to breakage naturally, especially if they have any kind of curl or wave pattern. Yes, I do as well. It is obviously heat styled right now, but when I was a kid, I had such curly hair. It was like a little fro, and then as I got older, they definitely fell. It's more wavy now than anything, but even with just slightly wavy hair, you do tend to be more prone to tingling, dryness, and breakage. So definitely keep all of these things in mind. Do you ever use anything like this? Like a round blow dry brush? You have one, this is the Revlon one. There's so many on the market that they look just like this. The Dyson ones as well. You do? Okay, well, you don't use it often. That is good, but I was just gonna say that if you do use those, a huge mistake I see a lot of people make, which is super damaging to the hair, is using them on sopping wet hair. Like, you do not blow dry your hair with this from the jump. You either need to rough dry with a blow dryer to about 80% dry, or let your hair air dry to that much and then go in. Using this much repeated super direct heat on really wet hair it causes a ton of damage. I've seen so many people say that these are horrible for your hair and they cause so much breakage, and it's really because they're just not using them properly. Yes. Okay. I think that is it. That's all the things that are coming to my mind. Do you have any more questions or concerns? No? Great. I'm sorry, I know it was a lot. I tend to get on a little bit of a soapbox ramble, but if you're feeling okay and you want to go ahead and book your appointment, you can, or you can kind of sit with it for a while. It's whatever works best for you. Great. Okay, let me just pull up my books here. Okay, so what days work best for you? I am out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and obviously we're not open on Sunday. Let me see. This coming or the following? Yes, I have a 1:30 and a 4:30 left on that day. Okay, that is good. I'll put you in. Can you spell that for me? Great. And then I just need a phone number. Alright, I got you all booked in there. Yes. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for coming in. Excellent. I will see you then. Have a great day.